Hello, hello. It's good to be here again. This is JIB live on Hot 93.3. All right. So, who have you all been? Have you been watching the Big Brother Reloaded on TV? Well, I don't get to have the time to do that, but I do follow the clips online. I do follow the discussion and the conversations they have online, and yesterday they were all trending on Twitter. So I was curious enough to find out what was going on, and I did watch some of the clips from the main interview held by Ebuka, of course. And one particular one struck me and also inspired today's show. And we'll get to them, Bam Bam and Teddy A and all of that love struck situation. But what struck me was the apparent bitterness D1 has for Miracle, which I think is funny to me, because he obviously doesn't like Miracle, and for some reason I'm happy Miracle is not even available for this reunion. I am happy he just moved on. There is this belief that anyone who wins the main prize on a reality show has to go into entertainment, has to be seen and be relevant and be and be a fashionista and be on the red carpet and put all of his business out there. I mean, that's just not true. He has dreams, he has other dreams, and he needed money to pursue his dreams, and he doesn't have to be in the public eye. It would be so ridiculous for anyone to judge his success based on the fact that they don't see him as much as they see others on Twitter. I mean, on Instagram. I'm just happy he just moved on. You got the money, and yeah, that's it. I wasn't a big fan of Effie. I didn't like him at all. I don't like the whole idea of the whole subservience and humility in quotes that Nigerians always like to promote as a tool to get money. He was so humble in that very annoying manner that just showed that he just wanted the money. But Miracle I liked him. I think he carried himself well, and whatever it is he wanted, he played the game well. He won the game, and he's moved on. So, being petty. I mean, D1 is petty. Everyone knows that. That's his name, right? Okay. I don't follow that stuff. When the show was on, I think I caught up with the show halfway when it got really interesting and was trending. I can't dedicate that much time to be watching a reality show, but I did get interested enough to know what was going on, because I followed the whole conversation online, and a lot of blogs carry clips of the main gist. So, so the main, if anybody sleeps with anyone, the gist will be online. So that's the stuff we see online. I don't have to see you cook and clean and lie in your bed. And I don't have to see all of that. If you kiss, if you have sex, those are the things that we get to see. Those are the main gist. I remember when I was growing up, I hated Mills and Boone, by the way. I just really hated it. So I'd never read Mills and Boone. And, so I remember when my sisters would read those books, my half sisters, and I had no interest in those books. But when they go like, oh, I knew something had happened, so I used to tell them, hey, whenever it's time for them to fall in love or have sex or do any of this crazy stuff, I need you to call me so I can read that page and move on. But the whole process towards that page, I'm not interested. So that's the kind of relationship I have with Big Brother. I like it. I will most likely follow the next one, but I'm not just going to dedicate my entire time, following the entire situation for 3 months. That's a long time. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about today. Friendship, toxic friendship. A lot of friendships were made and broken in the Big Brother Naija house. People have moved on. I'm happy for Cece. I never thought she would go this far because of her, her attitude. But she's been able to rebrand herself, and she's doing well. Everyone seems to be doing well. But I want to talk about toxic friendship, because, there's always that little ting of bitterness left somewhere. And the thing about bitterness, it shows when you're in front of the person you're envious of or whatever. It just shows, you can't help it. So I want to talk about toxic friendship. I want you to, let us talk about it. Let's talk about, bitterness in friendship. Have you ever had a bitter friend? How do you presently handle toxic friendship? let's talk about it. Let's know what you think. I saw a tweet where someone said, hey, D1, you're just so hateful. The guy has collected the money. It's just nothing you can do about it. I don't really know the gist. I mean, I don't know. I think I started even watching that stuff after D1 left. So it shows you how very far I am away. But the conversation online was so interesting that I had to bring it up, and I had to narrow it down to friendship. So I want to know, what do you think about toxic friendship? Have you ever had a toxic friend? And how do you handle toxic friendships? How do you handle toxic friendships? I'd like to know what you think. You can send your WhatsApp message to 081800899933, and also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hotfm_Lagos, and on Facebook, Hot FM Lagos. You can follow me on Instagram at Joy Bewaji. On Facebook, follow me. I am Joy EC Bewaji on Facebook. So let me know, what are your thoughts on toxic friendship? All right, we're still talking about toxic friendship, and it was inspired by the conversation I saw online where D1 of the Big Brother Double Wahala series reality show said Miracle is fake. I think it's always interesting and just crazy when Nigerians call other people fake. It just shows a level of, I don't take it seriously when people say other people are fake, because I feel it's just you showing your bias, the fact that you don't like the person, the fact that you're uncomfortable with the person, the fact that maybe the person even has something you want, and it just makes you angry. I always give this example, right? We know Dubai is in debt, right? So is Nigeria. And but look at Dubai. Look at what Dubai has been able to do, even in debt. How you turn a desert, like a desert. If you've been to Dubai, you will be there is no oxygen, yo. If you stay out for 30 minutes, you are going to literally feel like dying. Especially at some point, some points during the year, there's some seasons that it's just so hot. There is no oxygen. You are dehydrated because it's a desert. But they've done everything there. They have snow there. They have indoor snow. They have everything. They have a beach, and they created everything. And we have good weather. We have natural resources. We're also in debt. But look at what we're doing. We're doing absolutely nothing. So Dubai is fake, right? Because Dubai is in debt, but look at how glamorous it looks. And then Nigeria is just, I'm real, yo. In our real state of debt, So that I always give that example. And I think I gave it even last week when somebody was saying somebody else was fake. I'm like, see, this fake thing, just go and sit down. The truth is, I don't even want to see you in your real form. I don't know why people don't understand it. What is your real form? Your real form is when you're angry, you want to show that you're angry. When you want to take off your blouse, you want to take off your blouse, no matter where you are. Nobody really wants, when you come out to meet human beings, you have to package yourself. You have to package the way you speak. You have to package the way you look. You have to package the aura around you, the energy around you. That's life. And if that is fake, then let us all be fake. Because I don't want to see like this whole real thing. I just want to keep it real. And then you just open your mouth and blah. You're just all over the place talking crap. So anyways, that's beside the point. We're talking about toxic friendship here. I'd like to know your thoughts. Have you ever had a toxic friend before? And how do you deal with toxic friendships? Just friendships, not love relationships, because that one goes really, really deep. And I'm just not. Yesterday we spent all the hour talking about marriage. Today let's talk about friendship. Okay, not love relationships, just friendship. I have a comment here from Vivian. I'm gonna just read it. Vivian says, "Hi Joy. Jesus, not that I know of. I had a friend who said I stole her business idea, and she stopped talking to me without telling me. I was super hurt, not because the friendship ended, but because of her accusations. I just walked away. Nobody got time for that." Okay, this is even the strangest one, where somebody accuses you of something and they don't even tell you, and then everything just dies there. I think we should be sincere. If you have a friend, sincerity is very important in friendship. Honesty. If you feel a friend stole your idea, that's another thing I don't understand. That's another thing I don't understand. Ideas, they are everywhere. There are things I have thought of, and before I could put it to execute them, someone else is doing exactly the same thing. That's art. Art is very promiscuous. Let me put it that way. Ideas are very promiscuous. They go to anywhere. They're in the air, literally in the air, right? So anybody who catches it and executes it first gets to claim it, gets to own it. But if you have the idea in your heart for a very long time and you don't do anything about it, and then somebody brings it to reality and makes it work, how do you go saying that they stole your idea? What is an idea if it's not executed? What is an idea if it's not executed, really? Unless you have the, I don't, maybe it is registered, maybe, you have gone through the legal process of ensuring that this is protected, it's copyright and everything. Unless that is the situation, you have the patents for it. If you don't, how do you go around saying somebody stole your idea? Anybody can have an idea. All right. So thank you for sharing that, Vivian. I'm happy. I think it's a good thing you ended it, because if she goes around making those kind of accusations and then she can't tell you, then she's not a good friend. I have one here from Ayo. Ayo says, yes, I have. I've had toxic friendships. I ensure that I kept a distance after discovering that I couldn't help the person. It was a partnership we had, and I just moved on to create a different platform. That's another thing with friendship. Creating businesses with friendship is just something I never do. I just don't do it. If we're going to be friends, then let's be friends. I like definition. I like to be sure why you are in my life and why I'm in your life. Okay? And if we're going to grow the friendship towards other areas, I have to be sure you have the temperament, you have the talent, the skill, the resources, and just the grit and the right energy, the positive energy to be able to move from just being a friend to being something more potent, like a business partner. And I don't employ friends. I don't do business with friends, because one thing I notice about friends, they don't really see who you really, really, really are. Because friendship is just, a lot of friendship is just flimsy. It's just having fun. It's just hanging out on a Saturday, on a Friday night. When it comes to the real deal of what life is about, a lot of friends cannot connect you to the bigger picture. They just see you as that chick that they hang out with. They used to call you when you had a broken heart, and you used to call them when they needed money. Those kind of little things that are not really deep and don't define who you really are. So when it comes to dreams and purpose and all of those things, you have to be very careful before you involve a friend in all of those things, because things like that can actually break the friendship. And also borrowing, lending people money. I would rather just give. If you ask me for money, I would give you what I can and ask you not to bother. But lending money, oh my God, it's the hardest thing for people to pay back, especially Nigerians, because integrity is zero. Integrity is zero. I mean, Charlie Boy is trending right now because they are questioning his integrity. And I'm just here wondering that, you guys don't know, Nigerians have no integrity. I'm not saying he's wrong. I don't know the depth of the conversation, but I know it enough to talk about it here. And I'm thinking, okay, let me not go there. Let me just stay on the toxic, on the toxic thing. We continue to ask people to give us more than they can afford to give us. Their integrity that is not even non-existent. Everything. You have a lifestyle that requires more. You're going to compromise at some point. And that's just how we are. I mean, there's just no integrity. So before you keep lending people and before you go into business with people, be very certain. And then Nigerians are very disrespectful. As in, no, I'm not generalizing. No, some Nigerians. Let me just put it that way. Some Nigerians, because when they get money from you, they disrespect you. When it's time for them to pay, they will not pay. They will even be telling you, how much did you borrow me, Seth, that are disturbing my life. Yo, you were almost dying though. Before I helped you. So, you want to just keep yourself away from stuff like that. There is this crazy situation I had where a friend needed money and she asked me for the money. I didn't give it to her. Then she asked another friend for the money and the friend gave it to her. Right? And guess what? When it was time for her to pay the friend, she didn't pay the friend. She started fighting the friend. She became an enemy to that friend. But me and her, we're still friends. Because I didn't give her, so I didn't even create the environment for her to disrespect me. And I told her one day, you see, this is why I didn't give you money, because you and I were still friends, right? The person who helped you, you are beefing her now. Does it make any sense? You see, that's why we don't help people. Because when you now help them, you become an enemy. It doesn't even make any sense. But that's a long story. Okay, so let me know what you think. Toxic friendship. Have you ever encountered one? How did you deal with it? Let me know. Send your WhatsApp message 0818-008-9933. All right, I have a comment here from Ebere. Ebere says, "Good morning, Joy. I had a bitter friend once. At first, I didn't know she was bitter. I thought she was just jealous of my relationship with my ex. She would complain bitterly about how my boyfriend was not man enough. She would see him cooking for me or doing any other thing and go mad. I just called it nothing, but when I started hearing from others the stuff the stuff she was talking about, I had to cut her off. Now people say cut toxic friends off a lot. And make it seem so easy. But when the person in question is your lifelong best friend, it's kind of hard to just cut them off. Really? Okay. I just started withdrawing from her gradually until we drifted apart completely. We stopped talking and I started enjoying my relationship more without guilt that there are some people who didn't have it as good as I did. She made me feel like that when she made me feel like that when she was around me. I'm glad I left her." All right. She said, "Have a nice day." Have a nice day too. Thank you for sharing that. I have one here from Eki. Eki says, "Bitter friend. Oh yeah. I've had a couple. This one stood out in that he pretended to be my best friend but kept cutting me to size and undermining my efforts, achievements with thinly veiled hateful comments. Write an article for a Liverpool site and I would hear things like, 'Oh, that's really cool, but what else are you going to write if not that Liverpool is the best club in the world?' Negro, you haven't read it. Don't comment, please." I dropped the friendship like a sack of the hottest potatoes you ever came across, decluttered my space of all the other negative energy, and now there's world peace. I'm also intrigued by best friends with the opposite sex. I'm intrigued by that. I don't know how people do that. Maybe someone can make me understand how you're best friends with, the opposite sex. How do you guys just stay best friends and then, I understand not every, I mean, obviously you're not sexually attracted to each other, right? Because that's just going to be wrong. So you are friends. What about his friends? Do you feel safe around because friendship is all about feeling safe. Do you still feel safe around his friends? Do you feel safe at night? If, I'm just saying, because I have a very critical mind. So I always look at things critically. I'm just wondering, okay, maybe my daughter comes one day when she's old and like, this is her best friend and happens to be a guy. I'm like, okay. Do you change in front of each other? Like we do, like girls do. I mean, my best friend, I'm always like, yo, we just take off the clothes, yo. I mean, literally, she comes to she's a nudist, actually. She comes to my house. She hardly wears clothes. I'll probably be shouting, yo, put on some clothes. What's wrong with you? So do you do that with the opposite sex friend when he's not like gay or something? Okay, because I hear that a lot, that, oh, my best friend is a guy. So I'm like, okay, all right, that's so cool. How does that work? The dynamics of that friendship. I would really like to know how that works. I've always been curious about that. Okay, I have another one here. Titilayo says, "Yes, I had one and even more like a family, this toxic person. I confronted her when everyone wouldn't and we had heated arguments on a few occasions. Then I realized she would never change. So I avoid her now. Had to block her on all social media platforms and in my family WhatsApp group. I don't relate with her now. I have my peace." Thank you, Titi. I think that's one of the most important things to do when you need to get rid of toxic friendship. You need to get rid of these people on social media. People always say it's petty. I don't care what that means. Like, if you need somebody out of your space, you need to get rid of them on social media. Because if you don't, they keep, popping up on your timeline and they keep getting into your business. You keep getting into their business. You keep interpreting every post they write as a sub or a shade, and it's just uncomfortable and very unhealthy for you. I also endorse that for relationships. If you have broken up with someone and it wasn't exactly the friendliest way to break up and there are issues, just block the person on social media. It heals I don't even waste time. I don't waste time. There's actually a friend of mine who I thought she was a friend though, and then she just subbed me, and well, I caught it because I'm not gonna pretend that wasn't for me. And then I just kept quiet, and then she started calling, and I never picked her call up to today. I blocked her, I moved on. Poof, life is easy, you know. So I think that's just the best way to handle some of these things. You just block them on social media and move on. I have a WhatsApp message here from Josie Annie. He says, okay, I don't think this is for me. I will just continue what I'm saying. Okay, so anyways, let's stick to music. Send WhatsApp messages to me. Let me know what you think about toxic friendship. Let me know how you handle toxic friendships and how you're able to move on. All right, you send your message to 0818 008 9933. If your friend creates an environment for unhealthy competition, then that person is going to be toxic eventually, because friends should not be in competition. Friendship is not about competition. It's about love, is about sharing, is about companionship, is about warmth. You know, it should be able to make you feel like home. Friendship should make you feel like home. Don't be in a friendship where you find yourself competing with a friend. It's just not necessary. So if you sense that kind of environment, that is, you know, you find yourself in that kind of environment, you need to get out of it, because it's not healthy. It's not going to make you better. It's just going to make you angry or feel like you're a loser, and you don't need all of that kind of energy. Imbalance in talk time. When you know, I have had friends like that before. When you go out, they just talk and talk. They don't listen to you. They don't necessarily care what's happening to your own life. They just talk and talk and talk and talk. They don't. When you are in a friendship, it's wisdom, right? Friendship is all about emotional intelligence. When you go out with a friend, talk some and listen some. Talk some and listen some. Don't go on and on and on about you. Ask your friend, how are you? I have a very good friend. I've been a friend with her on social media, Facebook, for such a long time. She was such a huge she had a huge impact in my life in 2017. And when I finally traveled to London in 2018, because she's not in Nigeria, so when I went to London in 2018, and she left her own town to come all the way to London to see me, and the first thing I asked her was, how are you? And I didn't even think it was such a big deal, but that's something she always seems to remember whenever she talks about me on social media. She's like, I remember the first time I met Joy, the first thing she asked me was, how are you? And I was really interested to know how she was. You know, so you have to care. You have to be able to ask your friend, how are you? And listen to what they have to say. Don't interrupt them and say, oh, that's true. It also happened to me yesterday. Oh, this thing you're talking about. No, it's not about you. It's not about you right now. It's about her. So if she tells you that, oh, I tripped and fell and broke my nose, don't say, is it just nose that you broke? Me, I broke my hips. We don't care about your hips right now. We care about her nose. Pay attention to the nose, okay? Another thing is bad mouthing good people. When you have a friend that just continuously bad mouths people, there's a problem. I know friends gossip, it's healthy, but when you just never say anything good in anyone, there's a problem. It's just not healthy. You have to be able to inspire each other in your friendship. You have to be able to look at other people and like, I like this thing about this person. I like that thing about that person. That's friendship. And also, when your friend is never wrong, they're never wrong. You are the one when you fight, it's always you. You are the one that needs to fix your problem. You are the wrong one. You know, you are the wrong one. Okay, I have WhatsApp messages here. All right. It says, I have once had a friend back in school. I actually saved money with her. You wouldn't believe she did not return the money till now. I had to cut off the friendship then. Now we talk once in a while, but not intimate as then. Thank you. Please share your name next time. Thank you. Okon Godwin says, I have talk shit friends that if we have money, he will disappear off from me. But if he doesn't have money, he will come to me. I think I was trying to spell toxic. Okay. All right. I'll read that again. I have a toxic friend that if he has money, he disappears from me. But when he doesn't have money, he comes to borrow from me. And if I don't give it to him, he says I'm a bad person. All right. Thank you, Godwin, for sharing. I would like to hear more. I would like to read more on toxic friendship before we leave. I have let me see. I have another one. No, okay. So I have The Heaven's Gate by Burna Boy featuring Lily Allen. I know I'm late to the party, but Burna Boy is so talented. I know I'm late, but let's just carry on. You know how when someone is I'm even happier for the mother. For some reason, she seems to be having a lot of fun just watching her son do, his thing. This is so beautiful to watch. Anyways, toxic friendship. Okay, so on WhatsApp, someone says a friendship with the opposite sex is the best. I tasted one back in my NYSC days. He's the best. Missing him badly now. Taiwo sent that. She tasted one. Okay. Okay. Chi here says, bitter friend, I'm not sure. But the ones that betrayed me, oh yes. I'm not sure if they built up bitterness though before they each betrayed me when they did. But I'm the walk away kind of girl. I walk away and cut off every form of communication because of my own peace. I hurt very deeply. It lingers the much I allow it to. But I first of all walk away. And I don't know, people really go deep into these things, and I try not to go deep with people. It's just because people are people now. These things will always happen. In marriage, everything that has happened continue to happen, and people are still shocked. And I've lost all my shock bones. Like, this is just nothing that literally can make me shocked. Nothing at all. Because they keep happening over and over again, and then human beings keep acting like they're shocked. People will always betray people. People will always cheat. But what else? People will always say dumb stuff. People will just be people, and you just have to find where you stand in this world. Where is your own space? Where is your own tranquility? Your own place of peace. You have to stay there. You have to protect yourself from all of that. And it doesn't mean you can't jump into the controversy sometimes and just have fun, but have it at the back of your mind that people are what people are. I mean, see what they did to God in the very beginning. We're like, God was like, man, these people are so desperately wicked. That's what it is. Okay, so I think I have another message here. Let me see. Esther Mark says, okay, I think I read this already. Let me check another one right here. Nkem. Nkem says, good morning, Choi. Yoruba people say, Kosi aye fun oshi. Kosi aye, we don't have time for rubbish. I don't have time for rubbish, toxic people. So I just gave her a red card and I moved on. All right. Okay. Some people are strong about it. Some people are not strong about it. Okay. So how do you move on from toxic friendship if it is very hard for you? Like Ibere said, it is not easy to walk away from a friend that you have built relationship with, and then you realize the person is bitter. What are you going to do? First of all, make your rules very clear. When you get into friendship, make your rules, the things you will accept and the things you won't accept. It's always good to define relationships. Secondly, it's okay to let go. I know it's not easy, but when you actually have receipts to show that this person does not mean you well, it is only fair for your own life and your own peace of mind to start creating that pathway towards getting out of that friendship. Focus on healthier relationships. At that point, start looking for other things that make you happy, other people that have that you have built healthy relationships with. Pour all of that on other people to help you and support you emotionally at your time of need. Don't let the bitterness eat you up. I know the situations will leave you bitter. If your friend betrays you or offends you, it will leave you bitter. First of all, acknowledge the bitterness. It's okay to be bitter. I don't know why people always make it seem like if you call especially a woman, if you call a woman bitter, then she should go and die or something. Nah, I can be bitter. If I want to be bitter, I will be bitter, and I will let it. It has to wear off by itself. It wears out. That's the thing about bitterness. But when you start to deny your bitterness the hour to express itself, it's gonna eat you up. It's just gonna choke you. It's like a garrote. It will choke you. Right? So if you feel bitter, then let it just wear out. Express how it makes you feel, and then you recover from it and move on. Okay, so I have happier. Good morning, Joy. Sometimes we put unnecessary burden on ourselves because we are trying to live by society's standards. So with this toxic friend of mine, I felt indebted for nothing but the number of years we have been friends. She would take financially and emotionally without giving anything, but insensitivity and bad vibes. She has an epic AEPD, African Entitlement Personality Disorder. At a point, I slowly tried to ghost out of her life, but she being so insensitive, it backfired. So I confronted her. It was so exhilarating for me. She had a lot to say too. More BS that justified me wanting out. She was the true definition of a frenemy. And I always knew it. Good riddance. We women always know it, but we carry on anyways. It shouldn't be. In the end, bad energy hinders our growth to awesomeness. You know, Sapphire, there's so much I can say about this that my time is up, but this is so true. Frenemy, we all know we just stay because we don't want to be alone. We don't want to be lonely. You know, stuff like that. I have another message here from Temilola. Temilola says, hello, JIB. The best friendships I've had since I was a child are ones with the opposite sex. I mean, the bestest. It just happens naturally. From my experience, it's pretty much like the ones with females. I just become unavailable when a friendship gets toxic and when people fade off from me too. I respect their choice too. Yes. If you're no longer feeling comfortable with me, it's okay. And I agree, Temilola. I mean, there are people who have moved away from me, maybe because they feel I'm too all out there. I say the way it is. It makes them uncomfortable. And I don't ask questions. I respect the fact that they need to live their life pretentiously. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, so I respect that. I don't go asking, so why have you not been calling me? Why have you not been responding to commenting? I don't ask anything. People should be allowed to just move on. But there's something Sophia said that that I want to talk about before I round up. Regarding, she says, so with the toxic friends of mine, I felt she felt indebted, and friendship does that to us sometimes. We feel like we owe our friends some things, and we stay there, and it starts to abuse us emotionally because we feel indebted to this person. Maybe when you were in school together, when you were sick, they visited and cooked rice for you. When you missed your test, they helped you talk to the lecturer. All of these things, it now holds you down for 10 years, and you believe, okay, no, sometimes thank you is enough. Thank you is enough. Sometimes, a friendship for just 1 year is enough. You don't have to feel indebted to anyone to the point where, they get to control your life. I think the only people we should truly feel indebted to are maybe our kids and family members who are true to us too, because this thing is it should be symbiotic. It should be mutual. You should care for me as much as I care for you. Because we're adults, and that's how we should deal with life. I don't think one person should carry the burden of life. I'm going to read one message here and I'll call it a day. Let me see. I think I have one here. Okay, Lovette says, I think I have some bitter friends. I noticed the best way to deal with them is to just slide away from them. I keep my distance and I watch from afar. Most times I just keep quiet and I go back to minding my business, working hard to stay good, and forgetting that we were ever friends. Oh, interesting. Some people are just brutal. Okay. So that's all about toxic friendship. I'll probably just round up with this. The few things you might need. I was saying before I got the messages. So don't wait for an apology or closure. See, this closure thing is a scam. We are always looking for closure, and that gives power to the other person. When you need closure from someone, I get a lot of women sending me messages telling me, Joy, my boyfriend broke up with me. I can't move on, and it seems he has moved on. What do I do? Yo, you are waiting for closure. It's not gonna come. He knows you are waiting for closure. Don't wait for closure. Just keep going. So that also applies to friendship. Don't wait for closure. Closure is some kind of power in the hands of the person you need it from. So get over the fact that you need closure. Define the end. This life is a movie script. So you go write the end of this friendship by yourself and own it, right? Don't wait for anybody to give you those last words. You are the director of your own life. So give yourself that power and end your script. All right. So because closure is something people use to emotionally, they try to blackmail you with it. They try to keep you hanging around and playing with your emotions. Don't let it happen. And also, like I said, delete them from social media. Allow yourself to go through the phases of pain and bitterness, and also reflect on the lessons. There's always something to learn from anything that fails or wins or anything like that. There just might be a great lesson in letting go of a toxic friend. Don't let the situation bring you down. Exhale, sit down, and ask yourself, what lesson is there for me to learn here that can make me a better person later? There is always something to learn. I have one decor next.